he gets into the 95 of Folks. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away we go for the first time. Nicholas Morcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Reed Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got three wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Go out here for Circuit to Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
Smooth stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the League Zero Racing Series, the premier Formula iRacing League. Today we are at Barcelona, the season finale, getting ready to sign this season off right. I'm your host, James East, bringing the action 1080p, 60 frames a second. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, we've got a massive field out here tonight. Looks like 28 drivers have already registered for the final round of the season, and it is guaranteed to be a good one. Now, the points tonight going to be very, very close here to see how this one's going to finally pan out. It's a very close battle between Raymond Aguilar and Jaden Calloway. Right now, Aguilar is almost in, I would say, a must-win position if he wants to have a hope of the championship. We'll give you an update on that here shortly, as it looks like drivers are starting to get gridded up here today. And let's get ready for the opening sprint race of the night. Starting on pole, the current points leader, Jaden Calloway, in that number 37 machine. Second on the board, Ray Aguilar. Michael Fairchild starting third. Charles Carrener starts fourth. Nick Beaver starting fifth. A.J. Brenner starting sixth. Nick Peterson starts seventh. Antonio Bianchi starting eighth. Leo Delmas starts ninth. Shazi Zuhair starting 10th. We've got Eric Fox, a.k.a. Urko, starting 11th. Nick Trollman starting 12th. Let's cycle it on back once more. Adam Plunkett starts 13th. Dylan Meyer starting 14th. Jace Meyer starts 15th. Gareth McAllister, the world-famous Aussie, starting 16th. Andrew Neri starting 17th. Julian Mador starts 18th. Julia Cervone starting 19th. Carl Hartwell starting 20th. Chase Small starting 21st. Evan Alexander starts 22nd. Ben DePew starts 23rd. Arturo Mayorga starting 24th. And we'll cycle back one final time. Joe Albany starting 5th. Max Voorhees starting 26th. Jeremy Barber starts 27th. And Felipe Ramos will be starting 28th. Not sure what's going up here in the broadcast booth while we have these the blinking out on track. So let me get that checked here. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Put it on a different screen here for a moment. Well, you don't have that happen every day, ladies and gentlemen. It appears myself, race control, and a large portion of the field was, in technical terms, we were yeeted from the iRacing service. So you don't see that often. So luckily the admins have been able to extend the grid starting time. I was going to say I was going to be extremely disappointed if the biggest race of the year was not going to be able to come to fruition. So it looks like everybody's back out on track except for Raymond Aguilar and Adam Plunkett. I believe Aguilar is probably delaying the grid by sitting in his box on purpose. And yes, we just got confirmation from race control on that. So what a wild way to start off the season finale here tonight. We're waiting to see if Adam Plunkett, the number 40 machine, can get back out on track. So while that's happening, looks like the race is going to start. Adam Plunkett's going to start from pit road, so we get ready for the lights to come on and then flicker off here at Barcelona. And we are green flag racing for the season finale. That is Callaway and Aguilar are going to be side by side into turn one. That is going to be the two drivers that decide the championship here tonight. Aguilar takes a peek to the inside line, trying to muscle his way. Callaway's off track, might get a slowdown there. Aguilar takes over the race lead. Callaway falls back to second as Aguilar gets a breakaway. Michael Fairchild in the 88, hungry for a good race result here tonight. Coming to the main event, he was telling us before qualifying had closed out, really needs to maximize the points here today. I think Callaway knows if Aguilar brings home a win here and Callaway finishes second, I believe Callaway will mathematically win the championship. Aguilar and Callaway both triggering the off-track report. Now, we did have a crash report with Ben Depew and that number 19 machine. Let's see what happened here. Was there contact? I can't quite tell if he looped it on his own or maybe had a little bit of a helping hand. Now, we talked about Michael Fairchild. He's getting chased by Nick Beaver, Nick Peterson, Charles Carrener, Leo Dalmas, all in a nice tidy line here as Aguilar and Callaway getting a breakaway. So again, if Callaway finishes second behind Aguilar, I am fairly certain that no matter what Aguilar does in the feature event, that will put Callaway as the championship winner, I should say. There's Nick Beaver, who has historically been a part-time entry here at League Zero, challenging Fairchild, but we've got problems. This time it's Nick Peterson finds himself off in the grass. There goes a lot of drivers. Jace Meyer, Carl Hartwell, Julius Cervone. Oh, and another crash report. This time it's the friendly newcomer, Max Voorhees, and there's carnage everywhere. Drivers are off track. Surely the caution's going to come out here as it is a parking lot. No caution as of yet. We're going to run it clean and green. Let's see. I think that started with maybe Voorhees in the 43. Nick Peterson, Felipe Ramos, Jace Meyer all tied up in that one. No, Voorhees was an innocent bystander, got into the 50. And that's when carnage, oh my goodness. The drive, we'll get a replay of that again queued up here momentarily. But that is going to take Peterson, Ramos, Meyer, Hartwell, Bianchi, all out of the running here. If you take a tow here at League Zero, you are done and out of that event. While that's been going on, Beaver and Fairchild still going at it here, the battle for third. Both Beaver and Fairchild have really improved their racing prowess in the open wheel machines. We got, and while I have a moment, we've got Andrew Neri, Ryan Tebow, Joseph Penn, our good friend Finley Fitzsimmons, all join us in the spectator area. Now, last time by, Fairchild, who just lost that spot to Beaver, did click off the fastest clean lap of the race, a 124.15, so he's feeling mighty confident here. But Beaver muscling forward in that 87 machine. Aguilar hard on the throttle, has extended that gap to 1 second over Callaway. I need to check something to see if there's any bonus points in play. So Callaway also brought home an additional 2 points for qualifying on pole. So Aguilar gonna be looking for that fastest lap. Callaway just clicked off a 122.32. Right now he's looking at 3 bonus points, finishing if he finishes second. So Aguilar has to find some pace and click off the fastest lap of this sprint. That's gonna be tough. 1/100th of a second separating Aguilar and Callaway's fastest lap time so far. In theory, if Aguilar can win this race and set the fastest lap time, compared to Callaway possibly getting second and qualifying on pole with his bonus points, both drivers would leave this sprint race with 21 points added to them. Oh, a bit of a shimmy there from Aguilar. If he's facing or trying to look for burners of a lap time, that's not going to be the trick. Now another driver moving up in the field, Charles Carrener, known for his starts in that 76 machine, starting to hunt down Michael Fairchild, has whittled that gap to about 3/10 between himself and the 4th place driver, piloting the number 88 machine. Let's see what the lap times update to here. Not seeing any purple laps coming across the screen. Aguilar needs to find at least another 100th of a second to dethrone Callaway's fastest lap. Let's go a little bit further back. Here's a battle of newcomers. Max Voorhees, Adam Plunkett, Ben Depew. A nice tidy 3-car battle. Dylan Meyer right behind as well. Plunkett, oh, we're going to go 3 wide. Plunkett, Depew, Voorhees. Putting on a show here at Barcelona. Right behind them, that's Dylan Meyer, who is going to lift first into 1. As it looks like Ben Depew's going to make a couple passes the hard way, moving that number 19 machine. That's going to be his 6th position gain, now up into 17th. These guys are putting on a show for the fans, and let us know as well where you're from, who you're cheering on. Drivers will frequently have this broadcast pulled up on a separate monitor device, and if they don't, just about always go back and watch it over, especially a season finale with the fireworks night of Barcelona. Up front, Callaway has caught up to Aguilar. If all things stay the same here, Callaway just has to stay behind Aguilar, finish 1 lap of the feature, and he should lock up the championship. But Racers are going to race. Callaway's going for it here. Has to be mindful not to put himself in the vortex of danger, but Jaden Callaway, the 37, the points leader, takes over the race lead, the sprint here at Barcelona. We had the lightning delay to kick off the season finale, and now there is fireworks out on track as Callaway takes over the race lead once more. Ben Depew making more moves. That's Arturo Mayorga, the 55 machine. Mayorga, he's up 7 spots. That is going to be Depew's 7th position gained. And it looks like Adam Plunkett's going to muscle his way through the number 40 machine. Now Plunkett's down 4 spots from where he started, looking to get back in the mix here. Another driver we see in a making move, Andrew Neri, that 64, is our current hard charger out on track. He is up 10 positions gained so far. Another part-time entry this season, but he's been getting a lot more consistent every time we see him out on track. But he's got Urko, a.k.a. Eric Fox, right in tow in that 33 machine. Eric Fox, another driver who's been getting more and more comfortable every time he's out on track in the open wheel cars. We've seen him race LMP3s. We've seen him race GTEs, just about anything on the iRacing service. and Fox always puts on a great show. Here's Beaver and Fairchild battling for that 3rd place spot. Fairchild's going to look to pull up along the inside line, heading into 1. Behind them, you can see Kariner and Brenner not too far behind. Beaver and Kariner pretty close friends on and off the track, but when that helmet goes on, the gloves come off as Beaver gets sent off track by his friend and teammate Kariner. Gets into the back of him. There is going to be words in the virtual hauler after this one. At least one strongly worded message will be sent. And just like that, Fairchild back into 3rd, snagging the hopes of Nick Beaver. And they put a healthy gap. AJ Brenner in 4th, now 1.3 seconds back from podium contention. We've got the Smarter Morons joining us. What a great name. Joining us on the YouTube side of the broadcast. Oh, and it looked like right as we panned, I think that was Evan Alexander looking for a big send in the all-blue 77. Julian Medor, the 78, trying to get the nose in as well. And I've got to agree with Smarter here. There's everywhere you pan the camera, there's fantastic racing going on. See if we can grab an onboard here. Julian Medor, the 78. Oh, right as we do, a little bit of flat tracking and counter steering. Overheating the tires. Medor's got problems. Once these tires get overheated, it is very tough to hold on to. That allowed Delmas and Alexander to pull almost a 1.5 second gap over that 78 machine. Oh, here we go. Alexander looking hungry for that 10th place. Alexander now our hard charger out on track. Cooks the brakes a little bit. Callaway just set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:21.89. Callaway trying to maximize bonus positions. Bonus points, I should say. And again, if Callaway wins this race, he qualified on pole, getting the bonus points there. If he also sets the fastest lap time, he has locked up the championship. Getting the points queued up right now for the fans at home. Coming into tonight, Callaway 41 points up over Raymond Aguilar. Something has happened to Dylan Meyer, a very long off-track excursion. They're going to lose a few spots to Arturo Mayorga as well as Julius Cervone. Let's see what happened to the 41. Pushes a little bit wide. Keeps it off the wall though. Max Voorhees also with an off-track excursion. No harm, no foul. Julius Cervone down pit road. Must have some sort of damage on the number 18 machine. Callaway up front, almost a 1.5 seconds up over Aguilar. 5 laps left to go in the sprint race here tonight. And one way or the other, a championship will be crowned. Looks like Fox has company from Neri and Shazi Zuhair in that number 10 machine. Shazi only up 1 spot from where he qualified. As it looks like, I'm curious if these paints are updating properly for these drivers. I'm going to get that checked real quickly. I don't recall that being Zuhair's paint livery that he's run in the past. Looks like it is. Been a weird night tonight for broadcasting. We had the lightning delay where most of the field, broadcaster, and race control all dropped from the session. Speaking of race control, served by Joseph Penn here tonight, the world famous race control provider. Hopefully Joe Penn, the race control, has a nice boring night in his booth while I get to handle all the exciting parts over here. Speaking of, Leo Delmas, Ben DePew, battling for the 14th place position. Now there is no inverted grid for the feature event to follow. It is all about how you finish in the sprint, as it looks like Ben Depew able to take over the 14th place spot. That's his 9th position gained. Hard Charger on track. Evan Alexander, the 77, he has gained 10 spots so far. Well, we got to go back here as Meyer and Artugo side by side for a few corners there. Neither driver willing to yield. The battle for the 18th. That's the great part about racing here at League Zero. Doesn't matter where you're out on track. There is a battle to be found. And just great camaraderie amongst all these drivers. A lot of fun. If you're looking to get on the Super Formula action, check them out, leaguezero.net. Not entirely sure when the next season's going to fire up, but good to see the grid so healthy late into the season. I want to say this may be one of the biggest grids we've ever had here at League Zero, especially once we switch to the Super Formula machine. Here comes Adam Plunkett to try and fire back against Delmas going into turn 1. Oh, aggressive move there by Plunkett, getting back on his preferred line, getting around Delmas' number 26 machine. We have an off-track excursion for Andrew Neri in the 64. AJ Brenner also went off track. I'm not sure if those two were involved together or a separate incident. There goes Neri. No, a separate incident between the two, so no shenanigans, no contact there. Just a few laps left in this final sprint race of the season. Now you can obviously tell Zuhair, a Canadian, rocking the proud maple leaf on the side of that number 10 machine. Right behind Zuhair, that is Nick Trollman, the number 5. For this late in the season, a lot of drivers are still searching for personal best while those championships are on the line. Now, Squid Gang Racing leading the team championship coming into tonight. Avanti Autosport running in 2nd, and Rodent Racing 3rd in the points. Current top 3 before we wrap this sprint up. Jaden Calloway, 451 points. Raymond Aguilar, 410. And AJ Brenner, 371. With just a couple of short laps. Who was that? That was Eric Fox, pointing all sorts of wrong way. And it looks like Charles Carrener also involved in an issue. Fox really having problems here. I'm not sure if he can't get the car fired up or looking for clean track. There we go. Fox gets it moving again. Looks like he just lost the back end. And that's pretty embarrassing. Unfortunately, the tires had a little bit of dirt and debris on them. Spun that car right back around. And Fox will unfortunately fall way down the standings, back to 16th in the 33. Fox, one of those drivers that has the speed and talent, I think. It's just a tough adaptation hopping to the Super Formulas, especially running, well, if you're mostly running closed wheel machines. So, I mean, Fox is a good example of that. There's a bunch of guys, I think, in the next couple seasons, we're going to see battling for top 5 in the points that maybe didn't have the results here in Season 8 that they were looking for. But a ton of progression has been made across the field, especially from early on in the season when drivers switched from the Formula 3s to the new Super Formulas. And then from 1st to 25th, these guys have been doing a great job putting in the work, getting better and better each and every week. Looks like 22 of the 28 entries still out on track. The drivers forced into retirement. That was Chase Small, Nick Peterson, Antonio Bianchi, Jace Meyer, Carl Hartwell, and Felipe Ramos, who will all be getting a DNF here today. Jaden Calloway making it look easy as the white flag is out. Callaway clicked off the fastest lap of the race, a 121.67. He is going to try and cap this championship as solid as he can as the Tube Surfer gives us a bit of a oof over there in the spectator area. Less than a half lap left to go, and I think we're about to crown a champion, ladies and gentlemen. Unless Callaway snatches defeat from the jaws of victory, he is looking very good here to pick up his first League Zero championship. And then all pressure will be off for the feature event. Put your hands together. Callaway once again sets the fastest lap, earning 3 bonus points, qualified on pole as well as the fastest lap, and I believe, I am fairly certain, has just locked up a championship. We're going to try and get these drivers up here to victory lane. We've got, it looks like, we got the gangs all here. So we're going to start things off with Mr. Michael Fairchild, the number 88.
Hey!
Michael, bringing home a third. You ran extremely well in qualifying, able to put in the top 3 in qualifying, which I don't think I've seen you do.
No.
I didn't think it was before, if not in a long while. But, man, things look like they really clicked here at Barcelona.
Yeah, it's one of those tracks that you really have to be on the throttle at the right moment, and you can't spin your wheels too much, obviously. But yeah, with competition being the last race this season, you just maybe want to try even harder.
Now, Michael, what was the goal coming into the last few races this season? You were about, I think, I don't know, 6th or 7th in points. But what was the goal for the season, and how are you feeling after this excellent podium finish?
After I got a couple of slaps on the wrist by the racing stewards, I decided to take a step back and clean up my quality of driving and just put in a little bit more work ahead of time, not just on race night, to allow me to get used to the track a little bit faster and be up to speed. So finishing the races obviously means points, and that's what I wasn't doing early half of the season.
Well, glad to see the slaps on the wrist paid off in the end. And Michael, it's been really cool. We touched on the broadcast, but really cool to see drivers develop over the years in the season. So good to see you start to get that consistency in. Great to see you qualifying well. Even cooler to have you up in the top 3. And before I let you go, get ready for this feature where it's all on the line. Who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make this podium possible for you?
Well, this time we'll do Garage 61 for the overlays, VRS as well, for some of those overlays to help me get my telemetry down, Fan Attack, Team Goon Squad, and League Zero.
Awesome, Michael. Always a pleasure, buddy, and best of luck in the feature.
Thank you.
That was Michael Fairchild bringing it home in third. Up next, my longtime friend, Ray Aguilar. Welcome back to the top 2. I know it wasn't the result you're looking for, but a clean race from start to finish.
Yeah, it went all right. Didn't have any major problems. I was having some communications difficulties connecting to the network, but outside of that, it's fun. Pretty good stuff. Jaden's fast as can be, and I was just lucky to watch it, to witness it.
It's very odd to have the old iRacing lightning delay on the line as myself, race control, most of the racers had problems, and you were very kind to extend that grid start for everybody, but does that mean we're going to see rain at League Zero coming soon?
Yeah, well, let's hope. I think they said today no more rain or it's not even going to be in the next 2 releases now, right? So
they got us right after the Black Friday sale.
Yeah, they kept our hopes up before that and then took it away. But I don't know, maybe we'll get a cool car to make up for it. But I think we both know that's not going to happen.
Well, Ray, a great race, a great season all the way. As we get ready to head to the final, what are your thoughts looking back at the overall season and how things went for you and the team?
I think we could have worked harder. We didn't work as hard as we have previous seasons. We definitely could have worked harder, especially with this new car. And I think off season we're gonna take some time to try to get more familiar with this platform of a car. I think we all got used to the F3 before, and then we switch up to these larger cars, and a lot of it applies and a lot of it doesn't. So I'm gonna be working in the off season to try to pick up the pace a bit.
Well, looking forward to seeing you put in the work. Always a championship contender every time you run a full season. Ray, it's been a lot of fun. Before I let you get ready for this feature, who do you want to give a shout to that helps make second place possible for you?
First of all, who makes the races possible is Team Goon Squad. We wouldn't have such a big turnout and such a popular series here if it wasn't for you guys putting in the effort, pounding the pavement, and doing these broadcasts and making them look awesome. So I appreciate you guys hanging out with us all season and doing this. And then past that, just want to thank my wife and mom and beautiful family. They all allow me to do this instead of making me do chores and taking out the trash and stuff.
Awesome, Ray. Always a pleasure, buddy. Congrats on second, and hope to see you do well in the feature.
Yep. Thanks, James.
Thank you, sir. That was Ray Aguilar bringing it home in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, Jayden Calloway. I'm no mathematician, but I think you might have just locked something up with that win.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. I was trying to do the math, but I'm like, nah, I'm just going to stay cool, and I'm focusing on the next race. But it's looking good.
If I'm doing my math correctly, and drop weeks could throw a wrench in all sorts of plans here, but I believe you gained 4 points on Aguilar with this win and him getting second. So that's going to put you at 474, Aguilar at 419. To help you out, if Aguilar wins the next race and you got 3 points, you would still lock up the championship.
Well, it's looking good. Just needs to stay focused and make sure nothing catastrophic happens.
Now, you're going to be starting in the top spot once more for the feature event. You got the bonus points for the pole position in the sprint. You got the fastest lap, and now you just got to try and do it again. What's the strategy starting off this feature event to get momentum and get it going early on?
The same thing as always, but hopefully I plan on getting a better start than I did in the sprint. I got a really bad launch and then lost it in the turn one, but luckily I was able to get the spot back. But just to get a cleaner start this time.
Well, you've made it 10 wins so far this season. I know you're going to try and make it 11 before it's all said and done tonight here at Barcelona. But I mean, Jay, this has hands down been your best season yet. What was the trick this season that we're seeing you up on top more and more consistently?
I mean, I've definitely been improving over the past few seasons. I think being able to contend for a championship was my ultimate goal, and I've just been working toward that over the past few seasons, and this season I've got the pace.
And I'm looking here. I'm not good at math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe you just won 9 races in a row. Does that sound right?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Well, you're just gonna have to trust me on that. The old broadcast napkin math. Sometimes it's good, sometimes maybe not. But it looks like it's been one hell of a season for you in the 37.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a great season, and I'm really happy that I've been able to compete. It's been really fun competing with the guys. So just want to end it off on a high.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it. I know the fans are at home. And speaking of fans, Jayden, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped to bring home this sprint win for you at the end of the championship?
Yeah, as always, my friends and family who are watching and supporting, my team, Squid Gang Racing, my teammates, AJ and Fabian, they've been pushing me this entire season, and I wouldn't be here without them.
Hey, Jayden, very well said, bud. It's been fantastic having you up here so often. Really cool to see you develop as a driver, and best of luck in the feature event, and we'll do the math a little bit cleaner for that championship, so hopefully next time we're prepared.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That was Jayden Calloway, who I'm fairly certain just locked up the championship. Don't go anywhere. We're going to do a little math behind the scenes and send them right back out for the feature event, the season finale, here at League Zero. All right, race fans, get ready. It's time. The season finale, the final feature event of the season. We've got twice the laps and twice the action here. Now, the starting grid set by the driver's finishing position in the sprint. So that's going to put Jaden Calloway up front, Ray Aguilar starting second, Michael Fairchild starting third, AJ Brenner starting fourth, Nick Beaver starting fifth, Shazi Zuhair starting sixth, Nick Trollman starting seventh, Charles Carrener starting eighth, Andrew Neri starting ninth, Gareth McAllister will round out the top 10 here at Barcelona. We've got 28 entries. Looks like everybody's out on track. Sans Adam Plunkett in the 40 machine. Looks like Plunkett, I don't think is going to start with a grid here. The lights go on. They click off. And we are underway. A little bit of wheel spin there from Calloway. He said he wanted to get a better start in this final feature. Not going to have what he was looking for there as Aguilar shoots up the inside line, trying to battle for the race lead. That was the same corner. Calloway went off track in the sprint. It looks like Aguilar is going to hold on to it here slightly, but we've got a crash reported behind them. Evan Alexander and I believe Max Voorhees. Oh, Voorhees had a little bit of wheel-to-wheel contact and was way off the track. I thought I saw his car crabbing a little bit there. So I would not be surprised to see Voorhees come down pit road on the opening lap as he went off track again. Hopefully he can get that thing to pit road. And another crash report, this time Andrew Neri. And it looks like Gareth McAllister tied up in that one. Both drivers sitting in the kitty litter. We're focusing in on Neri here. Oh, gets into the back of McAllister. Sends him careening off track. Both those drivers are going to fall back to 26th and 27th. Now Voorhees still out on track, trying to limp that thing, I would assume, to pit road. There's Antonio Bianchi, his 9th spot gained. This got around Mayorga as well as Fox and Peterson. And I'm seeing the off tracks lighting up here. Yes, Bianchi's going to have a big run as Julius Cervone had problems. Here comes Bianchi getting around Cervone. Small made his way around. Small and Bianchi both up 10 positions so far. I saw a little bit more of a lockup. Looked like Small went in a little bit too deep. Bianchi, that's going to be his 11th spot gained. And that is going to put Chase Small right in the danger zone of the number 20. Now, not too far ahead. There's Trollman and Carrener side by side. That will be the battle for 6th on circuit. Now, Voorhees did make his way down pit road. So he is going to be safe to go ahead and take those tires. Meanwhile, further back, Plunkett and Albanese were also side by side for 19th. There's just good racing everywhere we look here at Barcelona. 28 laps, 45 minutes, whatever comes first. So should put it right at a 42-minute feature event, so the time should be good, barring any full course cautions. I don't want to hit it with the commentator's curse, but usually if we can survive the opening couple laps, we are looking good here. Nick Beaver's going to come down pit road for an undercut. Calloway taking over the race lead from Aguilar. Aguilar looks back to the inside line. Now we're fairly certain Calloway has already locked up the championship, but he is very hungry and very competitive. But Aguilar going to make him work for it every which way as they change back and forth. First, second. Right now it shows Aguilar ahead. Aguilar briefly pulled a 10th. Calloway fires back on the inside. They're wheel to wheel here at Barcelona. Calloway avoids drifting wide to avoid getting into Aguilar. And it looks like Calloway taking over the top spot. That slowed the pace down. Here comes AJ Brenner, the number 80 machine. Aguilar fighting tooth and nail here against Calloway. Looking the long way around. What a move by Aguilar. Locks up the brakes though. There goes Brenner taking over the spot. It's two teammates, Callaway and Brenner, now first and second. Aguilar has fallen a half-second back from second. Another crash report triggering the software. This time it's Andrew Neri, the 64. Oh, grabs way too much of the curbing. Unfortunately, finds himself way off the track. Now, last time by, it looks like it was Charles Carriner with the fastest lap, a 123.155. I would not at all be surprised drivers getting into the 122s, low 122s by the time it's all said and done. Now Carriner's putting the pressure on Zuhair. That's going to be the battle for the final top 5 position. Zuhair, Carriner really going at it here in the battle for 5th. If we go a little bit further back, Adam Plunkett has lost 1 spot, but looks like pressure is coming from behind. That's Carl Hartwell up 11 positions. What I find amazing, 2 different drivers have gained 14 positions so far in this feature. Antonio Bianchi up 14 spots. He's in 10th place. Nick Peterson up 14 spots, sitting in 12th. Bianchi just made it his 15th, getting around Leo Dalmas, his number 26 machine. Bianchi feeling very comfortable here. And look at that. Oh, that's what it's going to be. Aguilar going for the undercut as well, looking for a clean track. He's down pit road. Michael Fairchild moves up into 3rd. Callaway with the clean air, clicks off a 122.530. Absolutely ripping here. Carriner and Zuhair move up to 4th and 5th. Carriner has got that pass completed. Only 3 drivers. That's all I'd say, about 4 drivers came down pit road for what I would call a planned pit stop. Let's see how long Aguilar is in his stall for. 11.6 seconds. Peterson 7.7. Now it is a mandatory tire stop in our Super Formula Series here at League 0. I think Callaway's about to put on a clinic here. This is his favorite spot to be. He's got open air on the front of that number 37 machine. We've got some more off-tracks reported. Chase Small in a precarious position facing counter track. Joe Albanese also had issues. Let's see what happened to Small first. It was on the same lap. The exact same spot as Bianchi, just not quite as violent. Meanwhile, Albanese, a whole different bit of shenanigans there. Oh, Albanese, look at that lockup and save, but we talked about that in the sprint. You overheat those tires and it gets really greasy out on track, and that is why Albanese was off in the kitty litter here at Barcelona. Now Shazi Zuhair, Leo Dalmas, Felipe Ramos all down pit road. Antonio Bianchi, our hard charger so far tonight, keeping the pressure on Mador 78. Man, Bianchi having a race, already up 17 positions. And that doesn't discount Carl Hartwell and Julius Cervone, 10th and 11th. No, excuse me, Carl Hartwell and Jace Meyer, 11th and 12th. Both those drivers up 16 positions so far. We got ER noticed at the same time I did that Hartwell has some legs here. So on the live timing, that's going to show how many positions drivers have earned or unfortunately lost here. And you can definitely see some big movers. Hartwell keeping that pressure on Cervone's number 18. Cervone up 11 spots. As we're on board, Carl Hartwell, and that's 79. Callaway again the fastest lap, a 122.3. Feeling extremely comfortable. Cervone gained. Looks like it's now going to be about a 3/4 of a second difference between Plunkett, Cervone, and Hartwell. Either way you look, Cervone does have that rabbit to chase with Adam Plunkett's number 40 machine. Looking to get a bit of a tow there. Meanwhile, two very fast drivers have linked up. Ray Aguilar, Shazi Zuhair completing their pit stops. They are now 15th and 16th on the field, but that's going to change as the majority of the drivers in front of them have yet to come down pit road. I would imagine Jaden Calloway here, the race leader and championship points leader as well. I would imagine Callaway's going to go for the overcut. He's going to run that thing as long as he possibly can and minimize the amount of time he's on cold tires. There's Dylan Meyer waiting for some clean track to join. Well done to these drivers, picking safe moments to rejoin the racing surface. Let's see what happened to Meyer in that 41 machine. Looked like cooked it in a little bit too hot on the brakes. Gets it slowed down, but very wisely waits for the field to get around. Shazi Zuhair taking that tow from Aguilar, running very well in the 16th place spot. Zuhair, one of a dozen at least drivers who have gotten a lot more comfortable and a lot more consistent in these Super Formula machines. Very interested to see what the field's going to look like once these green flag stops have all cycled themselves out. I saw for a brief moment Callaway triggered the broadcast off-track software. Looked like he had a little bit of lap traffic ahead of him. I think that was Eric Fox going a lap down behind the points leader in the 37. I'm fairly certain it was. Ben DePew making a pass on Jeremy Barber. That's going to be the battle for 23rd. Looks like 26 drivers still out on track of the 28 that originally entered here this evening. Chase Small, Evan Alexander, unfortunately put into an early retirement here. Callaway again the fastest lap of the race on 122.23. McAllister and Meyer, looks like they're having a battle for 12th. The world-famous Aussie still down 2 spots where he started. Meanwhile, Meyer up 15 position, rolling very well in the 21. McAllister has had a bit of a roller coaster of a season, but good to see him starting to get that momentum. I've been a little bit late in the year, but any momentum's good momentum. And look at that, that's Nick Peterson, Joe Albanese, side by side in the battle for 18th. Peterson's up 8 spots and has already come down pit road. Albany's still out on track on his original set of tires. Now we had, I think that's Even Racing. I don't think it's Evan Racing, but one of the fans saying that Callaway has been putting a ton of track time in on a service called Garage 61 where we can kind of track inputs and see what a driver's doing. So it's going to be interesting. We're going to get clarification maybe how many hours Callaway's been putting in on practice. Shows all your telemetry, fastest laps, all sorts of cool information. A lot of racers here at League Zero have been using it this season. And a lot of other drivers kind of have the opportunity to kind of look what the fast guys are doing and say, all right, this is where driver A's on their braking marks. I'm, braking 15 meters early. Let's try to go deeper in the corner and see if we can squeeze a little bit more time out of it. Nick Trollman had some sort of issue. He's going to lose 2 spots to Julian Medor as well as Antonio Bianchi. Medor now up into the top 5. That is going to be Bianchi's 18th position gain here. Callaway, another blistering fast lap, a 121.975. Callaway, the 37, the first driver into the minute 21 lap times, but he's got more lap traffic up on the horizon. Drivers will see the blue flag, but it's going to be tough if they're battling for position. Going to be difficult for them to hop out of the way while having their own race. Look like a little bit of a lockup ahead. Trying to see, was that Leo Delmas ahead? No. It almost looked like Bianchi's car. Maybe Ray Aguilar? Not entirely sure there. Or maybe I'm just taking crazy pills up here in the booth and losing my mind. Unfortunately, we got the report Andrew Neri has put it back in the virtual hauler after an incident. Let's see what happened to my longtime friend piloting that 64 machine with 6.5 Motorsports. Just locks it up, spins it around, and says, you know what, I think I'd like to go home now. Callaway, a very comfortable 4.5 second gap over his teammate AJ Brenner. Michael Fairchild still sitting in third. We got a couple short laps to go before we reach the halfway mark here tonight, the season finale. And while we're rolling around here and Callaway has such a comfortable lead, we'd like to thank the sponsors here at League Zero. Utopian Organics, established 2018 out of Texas. The Lap Zero podcast, bridging the gap between online and real-world racing, as well as our friends over at Critical Video. If you'd like to check out the sponsors and support those that are supporting us here at League Zero, check out LeagueZero.net, go to the bottom of the page, and you too can see all the sponsors and support some great guys on and off the track. There's Carl Hartwell, the 79, has worked his way up 17 spots into the top 10, but he's got Dylan Meyer in the 41 breathing down his neck. Meyer up 7 positions, having a great race in his own account. Looks like Hartwell's going to hold on here for a little while longer, but Meyer trying everything he can to mount a charge against that 79. Julian Medora coming down pit road for their green flag stop in the 78. Hartwell and Meyer stays out. Here's McAllister about 2 seconds back from this battle for 11th. I can't quite tell if that's someone in the lead lap right behind Hartwell and Meyer. I don't believe it's a race leader. No, Callaway's about 30 seconds ahead of this battle. Lap time is about 1 minute and 22 seconds, what we're seeing on average. A high 121 if you're an absolute alien like Jaden Callaway. Nick Trollman with an off-track excursion. He's going to fall back to 8th. And here comes that battle of Hartwell and Meyer catching up to Trollman's number 5 machine. Trying to see who that is right there. That's behind Hartwell and Meyer. Oh, Meyer taking advantage of a bit of a bobble by Hartwell. Meyer takes over the 9th place position. Hartwell following along now, not too far back. That's Gareth McAllister, the next driver position. He's 11th on track, hoping that Meyer and Hartwell slow the pace down. Now, Trollman and McAllister down pit road at the halfway mark. So drivers are being displayed the cross green and white flags, signaling we're at the halfway of this main event. No, hit the wrong camera angle. And right as we do, Hartwell and Meyer side by side once more. Hartwell now up into 8th, has yet to come down pit road. Hartwell defending heavily against Meyer here. Meyer looking for a high-low, trying to carry a little bit more corner speed than Hartwell in the 79. Bianchi and Hartwell, 5th and 8th. Both are up 19 positions. Now, it is worth noting neither driver has come down pit road, so that number's a little bit skewed in their favor. AJ Brenner running 2nd. He's down pit road. We just got report Callaway has put in almost 76 hours of practice on Garage 61, the telemetry software here as of late. So putting in an ungodly amount of work. That was Max Voorhees hopping off track, getting out of the way of Charles Cariner and Michael Fairchild. Cariner and Fairchild have moved up to 2nd and 3rd. Your top 4, Callaway, Cariner, Fairchild, Bianchi, have yet to come down pit road for their one required stop. Now the rules are here, you cannot box on the first lap or the very last lap. So Callaway, I'm kind of reading the notes here. Ryan Tebow, he's thinking Callaway's put in 105 hours in sim practice just in the Super Formula this year. My goodness. Oh, who was that? That was Joe Albanese. Just threw it away in front of Cariner. Doesn't look like the car's too damaged here. Looked like he kept it off the wall. Let's take a look once more. Just too much with the lead foot, sends it sliding around. Thankfully, no harm, no foul. Now I'm waiting to see Fairchild sees Cariner up ahead. Julius Savone down pit road. Now, if Tebow is correct and Callaway's put in 105 hours in sim, that is the equivalent to just about 70 races worth of practice here at League Zero, to give you an idea of the crazy amount of time that is. But it is definitely paid off for Callaway, coming out, putting in work. As we've got problems once more. A huge blink. Oh no, I think we're going to lose the field here. Something dreadful has happened. I think the service is dropping again. Oh, I think it's happening. What happens here if the race is red flagged? I am at a loss. I'm seeing it blink in and out here. This happened at the beginning of the race. I don't see anything in the rule book about this. Let me try one thing real quickly. We'll put on a quick temporary commercial. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back to see if we can figure this thing out. Oh, Pearson gets it in the 95 of Folks. Here comes the caution.
Flag is dropped here at Daytona, and away go for the first time. Nicholas Morcel, Sean.
Looks like most get through unscathed. Look at that, there's Rick Gibson. A big move at the inside line of Dom's, possibly a little bit of contact.
Now, as we've got 3 wide action going through turns 1 and 2.
And they're underway. Eric Hahn takes a nice jump. Wilson hasn't let him go very far.
Let's go out here for Circuit Spa Francorchamps. Alex Johnson's off to a brilliant start there.
Just how oddly shaped this one is. We saw in the background Eric Hahn go for a bit of a swing, and he's gone and he's over.
New stuff. Cody Graham's the one-on-one up into second place. Alex Johnson 6/10 of the lead at the moment.
They're dicey up front. There's Andrew Kessel, Justin Sang.
They are ready to go. The lights are out, and away we go for the very first time here at Okayama International Circuit. Finley Fitzsimmons.
All right, race fans. It's a wild night, ladies and gentlemen. I'm waiting to see how many drivers have been faced with disconnections. Jaden Calloway's down pit road. It looks like... Oh, this is tough. It looks like Dylan Meyer, Ben Depew, Eric Fox, Jeremy Barber may be the only drivers affected by this. So I'm going to make an educated guess here as a broadcaster. So my educated guess here is that the race will go on because a large portion of the field did not disconnect. And I believe the championship contenders are still out on track. So we got confirmation from race control. We're going to let it run. I mean, Callaway and Aguilar are still out on track. Those are the two guys that were in this for the championship. So we're going to run this thing out to the end. Right now, Fairchild and Bianchi, first and second, have yet to come down pit road. Callaway came in just around the shenanigans. It looks like Dylan Meyer, Jeremy Barber are going to return back onto the circuit a lap or two down. So historically, and again, I checked the rule book, there's nothing in there about red flags or mass internet drops. Historically, what I've seen is if a majority of the field loses connection, then the race will be called on the final lap if more than half of the laps have been completed. And granted, I am drawing on some real-life motorcycle experiences as well. And that's how we always ran it. If you run more than half the race and it's called a red flag for any reason, weather, track conditions, so on and so forth, the race is deemed official past that halfway mark. And with race control being told to let it run, I would imagine and feel fairly confident that the spattering of drivers that have lost connection are just going to be out of luck, I'm afraid. And not to negate the great racing that I've seen from these drivers so far, thankfully it wasn't, I don't think, anybody in the top 5 in points. I'm going to try and get confirmation on that. We've got Callaway, we've got Aguilar, we've got Brenner, we've got Shazi Zuhair, we've got Antonio Bianchi, I believe, if I can find the name of the Italian stallion. Yeah, he's in second. All the top 5 are still out on track right now. And Callaway, after that pit stop, once again putting a heater on 121.94, continues to get faster here. Now the biggest problem as well, I believe race control got dropped from that as well. Thankfully there wasn't any on-track shenanigans, As Fairchild has a bit of an off track. There goes Jaden Calloway. Oh man, Ben DePew got kicked. Now down 11 spots from where he originally started. Now Bianchi up front also clicked off his fastest lap last time by, a 122.17. Oh, Calloway dipping some tires there outside the track. Michael Fairchild down pit road for his one scheduled stop of the evening. So Bianchi leading this thing, but has yet to come down pit road. He has to take tires before the final lap. And there's two drivers I didn't think I would see linked up. Ray Aguilar, Charles Carrener battling for fourth. Carrener, I don't believe, has come down pit road yet. So the two drivers I'm seeing out on track, Antonio Bianchi, Charles Carrener, I believe, are the only two drivers who have yet to box here for the mandatory tire stop. I don't know if Bianchi's going to be able to hold on to a possible third here, as oh no, here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. What a race this has been. I'm assuming we'll be dropping connection here shortly. And speaking of crashes, looked like Nick Beaver got hit with the old internet clippings. Showed being towed to pit road. I wonder if this is going to be a netcode crash. No, he just pulls off and says, you know what, the connection's too bad. There's Peterson Fairchild battling for seventh. Fairchild coming out on cold tires. Other drivers reporting as well, they're having blinking issues. $121.6 for Calloway. He's been hitting the old lag switch as we used to have in the Xbox days. But still, I don't really think that would be needed as he is ripping here at Barcelona. Carrener tucked in behind Aguilar. I'm fairly certain Carrener has yet to come down pit road. There's a chance that he did box in 76 during those connection issues, and maybe the broadcast software didn't pick it up. Man, Calloway keeps getting faster here, a 121.46. Those cold tires really weren't much of a factor for the 37. The fingers and toes are crossed that the internet gods play nicely until the end of this season finale. Now, the report from a lot of drivers was that they were on the same ISP that I am on. So I'm wondering if there was a node dropping somewhere out on the old interwebs as I say that. The broadcaster's curse hits the broadcaster, ladies and gentlemen, as we have another massive blink with 4 laps left to go. I don't know if it's going to recover this time. We've lost a lot of good men out there. Aguilar and Carrener thankfully not having too many issues, but up here in the booth, things are going terribly awry. I am not having a good night here in the booth, but at least I haven't crashed a virtual car, so we've got that going for us. We're going to try this one final time to see if we can get this corrected. If not, unfortunately, that is going to be the show, so bear with me. We'll be right back for the 8th time here this evening. So, are you feeling lucky, viewers? Are ya? Because we are still, I believe, a large portion of the drivers out on track. I am perplexed. Bianchi still shows as the race leader, still shows that he hasn't boxed. And what's very interesting to me, we have very little to no dropped frames up here in the broadcast booth. I believe Bianchi is yet to box. And there we go. Bianchi down pit road late in the race. Callaway takes back over the race lead. That should put AJ Brenner up into second. I think Ray Aguilar up into third. And man, Callaway just keeps getting faster here. A 1:21.32. So Callaway, knowing the white flag comes out next time by, we all wait on bated breath to see what iRacing can do. Hopefully we can hold on to this thing. We've whittled it down to, I believe, 19 drivers out on track. A large fistful had been sent home early due to connection issues. I believe, besides myself, Race Control also getting dropped from the session. So hopefully in those brief moments of quietness up here in the booth, hopefully there was no on-track shenanigans, and this is rough. We are just hoping and praying Callaway will be able to take home the checkered before this inevitably drops again. I can't say I've seen this happen in iRacing in an extremely long time. Look at that lap time, a 1:21.038. Callaway ripping it. We knew what 21s were going to be possible. I didn't think we were going to be talking about possible 20s by the time it's all said and done. Callaway on the push to pass. Drivers allocated 200 seconds of the magic button per race. And Callaway's about to use it all up here. With 200 seconds, a minute and 40. The lap time is only 121 in the case, or excuse me, a minute 21 in the case of Callaway. So he's going to use the magic button for all she's worth. Let's see, on his way to a championship, are we going to see a 120 here? A quarter of a lap left to go. Callaway a massive lead, 17.6 seconds up over AJ Brenner. Here we go through the final section. Hold together, iRacing. The hamster must keep running on the wheel. We've got a finale to catch up and finish. Put your hands together. Jaden Callaway makes it back-to-back. His, I believe, 11th win in a row. And he will be, I'm fairly certain, your Season 8 champion. And he does it, a 120.947. Absolutely ripping out here tonight. Callaway, tons of time to think about what he just did. And he is going to burn it down here for the fans. AJ Brenner brings home second, and Ray Aguilar bringing it home in third. No! It's showing Antonio Bianchi in third. What just happened? We're watching Aguilar pulls over and lets his teammate by. I have questions. We're going to get these drivers up here to victory lane. So many questions. We're waiting on Antonio Bianchi. Looks like the gang's all here, I guess. But we're going to start things off with the Italian stallion, the Legends Racing Pro himself. Our hard charger up 21 positions. Antonio, welcome to the top 3, buddy.
Thank you.
How
How was your restarting the broadcast?
I've gotten very good at it. I think it dropped no less than probably 6 or 7 times. The viewers were getting ready to throw trackside hot dogs and red slushies at me, but we pulled through, and thankfully it did not look like it affected the championship battle at all.
That's good. Yeah, no, it was good. I probably would have actually finished somewhere in the 7th, 8th range. Ray let me by there at the end just because I was tied on points with Shaji there. I had a really bad sprint race, but with the drops, I might beat him still. So I was like, hey, you want to let me by just in case, since it does nothing for him. So Ray should actually be on this podium. So shout out to him. But yeah, no, I mean, a good race. I mean, it was chaotic that start, man. It was just like everybody was flying everywhere. Nobody was really wrecking in the beginning, which was nice to see, but holy, that was chaos getting through like the parking lot. That was the first like 10 positions on lap 1 and 2 there.
Now, compared to the opening few races in the new car, the Super Formulas, after making a switch to the Formula 3, to a great race here at Barcelona, plagued by some outside issues that had really nothing to do with the racecraft at all, how happy are you as an admin and fellow racer to see how things have kind of turned around from earlier this year?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely happy with how it's played out. It was a lot. The racing's been a lot cleaner for the most part. We had a good good amount of people show up this week, so it made for a really good grid. I was hoping that we weren't gonna wreck or have anything spectacular happen, so I'm glad that that didn't happen. It was ended up being a decent race. I mean, we did have a session switch and a network drop, but hey, we've had it happen before. I mean, we had it back happen at Monza, I think on week 13, probably about a year and a half ago, so it's not some unfamiliar, uncharted territory for us. But yeah, no, really happy overall. I think next season will improve too. We're gonna make a couple changes, but yeah, it should be good.
A wild season all the way around, especially a wild season finale. Antonio, thank you so much for having us up in the booth, and for the final time this season, who do you want to give a shout out to that helped make this entire year possible for you?
Hey, you know what? It's not often the league owners on the podium in the final race of the season, so I guess I'll do my finale rounds. I just want to say big shout out to everybody who participated in the season. We thank you. It's always fun. Shout out to James East and Team Goon Squad. We love you boys and everything that you do for us. So happy to see that you guys are always here broadcasting for us. Big shout out to my teammate Ray. It's always been a good season. Hopefully next season we can try and take on Jaden and AJ there sitting in the waiting room. We'll just make them wait a little bit longer because they making us sit here in second place. But other than that, great steward team as always. Big thank you to everybody and everyone else that I forgot about, but I love every single one of you guys. I'm happy to be here. Happy to see you guys. James, we'll see you next season, and hopefully anybody who watches will hopefully see you guys next season too.
Awesome. Antonio, thank you so much. Congratulations on third, and always a pleasure, my friend.
Thanks, man. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. That was third place finisher, league admin, and the guy just informed me that I'm not getting fired, Antonio Bianchi, bringing it home. And third, up next, the man of few words, AJ Brenner, the number 80 machine, up 2 spots behind your teammate, helping to clinch a team championship for you and the guys with Squid Gang Racing. And what a wild season finale.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, the track felt great. We were having a great time out there, some good racing. So really glad to end up P1 and P2. You know, big congrats to Jaden. He's a fast dude. I mean, that guy has just been flying past everyone this whole year. So it was a good time.
Yeah, I mean, Callaway just on a different level this year, but you've definitely improved as well with the racecraft and keeping the car here at the end. And that seems like there was a plaguing issue this season, but how relieved are you at Barcelona that you're able to avoid some of the other shenanigans you ran into or got ran into earlier in the year?
It actually happened race 1, the same thing as Road America. So we got hit right into each other. So I'm just glad I stayed alive, didn't get any damage. So it was a pretty clean race. It was a good time.
Well, AJ, it's been a lot of fun watching you progress as well as your teammate Callaway and really most of the field. We've got so many fast guys in the top 5 each and every week. What's the plans for you and the team coming into next season?
I think next season I'm going to be shooting for first or second this time. I think I only got to the third from the championship, but just going to keep improving. Hopefully we get some new tracks next year, some more, this kind of car style tracks, kind of like Barcelona here. So it'll be a good year. Just going to take the nice winter break to get ready and go again next year.
Awesome. AJ, always a pleasure, buddy. Great seeing you up here. And before I let you go, for the final time this season, who do you want to give a shout out to? Any friends, family, sponsors that helped make it possible for you?
I'm gonna give a shout out to Squid Gang Racing, specifically Fabian. He's always in the background helping us, kind of being a crew chief. So big shout out to him. And then obviously Jaden for winning the championship. He's done a lot of work for that one. So congrats to him.
AJ, always a pleasure, bud. Very well said, and congratulations on a great season.
Appreciate it, James.
That was AJ Brenner bringing it home in second. But up next, the man, the myth, the legend, and I'm fairly certain the new champion. Welcome Jaden Calloway to the top spot and another clean sweep to end up the season.
Yep, it was a great way to finish off the season. Great racing with Ray. That was really, really awesome. It was really on the limit and just so much fun. But kudos to him. He kept it clean. So much fun.
Yeah, I mean, were you worried at all about that? I mean, everything was on the line. There's a lot of people gunning for a win because, hey, racers are going to race. But, I mean, especially in that sprint race, you got to be a little bit nervous that you could have this championship robbed from you.
Yeah, definitely it was in the back of my mind, but I knew I could pull it off. I just had to stay focused and make sure I hit my marks, and it all worked out.
I mean, it obviously worked out extremely well for you, Jaden. I mean, that was probably one of the best seasons I think I've ever seen at League Zero. We know you were putting in tons of hours. We had fans looking at your Garage 61 data during that feature event, kind of letting us know what the time was. But what's the plan going into next season? Are you going to be putting in the same amount of work? Are you going to change the strategy off the track? What is the plan for you in Squid Gang Racing?
Same as this season, just make sure we put in the practice, and hopefully the results will show that.
And I checked here. That was 10 races won in a row here, Jaden. So a couple of those you didn't even qualify first, still able to bring it home. But, I mean, something obviously clicked in the back half of the season, and you were gone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure what it was. It just, every track felt really good, and I guess all the practice time paid off. So I'm really happy about that.
I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch, Jane. You were putting on a clinic several times throughout the year, hands down the most dominant driver, walking away with the individual championship, the team championship, and a perfect season finale. I know you and the team are absolutely pumped. And, Jaden, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the season. The floor is all yours. Who do you want to give a shout to, my friend?
Yeah, as always, my friends and family watching and supporting me. I'm going to give a shout out to my teammate AJ. He's been phenomenal this season, and the amount of teamwork that we've done throughout these races has just been crazy. So big shout out to him. Also shout out to my teammate Fabian. He spots for both of us at once, and he's done an exceptional job this season. So shout out to them.
Awesome. Jaden, thank you so much for always being so kind and personable every time you're up here in the booth. Always a pleasure, bud, and hope to have you back up here just the same next season.
Thank you. I hope to be back here.
Thank you, sir. And that was Jaden Calloway, a clean sweep, the season finale here at Barcelona. Now, we do have the unofficial points have been posted, and I'm going to double check this here so I don't speak out of turn. And we get confirmation. I am almost positive Jaden Calloway walks away as the season championship contender, or winner, I should say, here at League Zero, Season 8, the Spanish Grand Prix round number 2, fireworks everywhere. He was accompanied by AJ Brenner, and he was also accompanied by Antonio Bianchi in the top 3 spots. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of all ages, it has been a great season here at League Zero. I'd like to once again thank all of our friends as well as our sponsors, Utopian Organics, Team Goon Squad, that's me, the Lap Zero podcast, and Critical Video for helping to support so many great drivers on and off the track. Thank you as always for tuning into League Zero, the premier Super Formula Series. On behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, my name